with everybody making more stuff, why isn't there anything good anymore?
That's a good question. I mean, how many streaming services are when I go home and I want to watch something? It's like I spend an hour just scrolling through menus. Like, this is all. Can we just? And they have it categorized. It's like, can you just do it by here's the good stuff? Like, why do I have to sort through like all of these like atrocious, and it's all bad? And you start every time I start a show, it's like I give it 15 minutes. It's like this is. I also noticed like it's kind of a country thing.
Yeah.
Like you're like all these Italian shows, like I'm Italian or genetically or whatever.
Sure.
They don't know how to make a TV show over there.
Well, I think that's something I would argue is an American opinion that we've felt our whole lives.
Yeah.
Because we were in a hotel. I was doing the San Jose Improv, and we were in a hotel watching, like Katie and I were just like flipping through the hotel TV because she was with me.
Yeah.
And it went to an old BBC show from like the 80s. And you were like, this looks like it was shot on a soundstage. The lighting is horrible. The audio is horrible. And you're like, that used to be everything but American TV. Like American TV in the 80s and 90s, we had it right. We learned how to make it look warm, how to make it look bright. Most countries have done that, but still with other stuff now, you're like, what was this, made in Italy?
Those BBC shows, it's like how when you have a fever, the way you perceive things. You're just like, why is it, everything is moving too smooth. Something is wrong.
Yeah, you're right. It's like dream camera. Yeah. You're like, I feel like I'm watching a dream. But I feel like now with everything, with all the movies that are being able to make, like I enjoyed Deadpool and Wolverine, but that was the first movie I felt like, okay, they nailed the thing, that they did it the way I wanted it. It was just like, it was fan service. It was 100% fan service.
Right.
But why isn't everything good now that we have all this great shit to make it?
Well, that's why Top Gun was like made so much waves, because you're like, oh, yeah, I forgot what it's like to go to the movies and enjoy what I'm watching.
Yeah. I mean, I'm genuinely excited. We're getting tickets to go see Alien Romulus this Friday. And I'm like excited because they're like, oh no, we've made it scary. They like did it right again. But this is like the 10th Alien movies where I'm like, try it again, try it. We're just giving so many chances to retry shit.
I know there's a lot of like, execution is like Stargate as a movie, as a premise, that should have been the coolest. That could have like topped Star Wars.
You're talking about the one with MacGyver, with Richard.
That's the show, right?
Stargate, the movie.
The movie, I didn't see the show and I can't speak to it, but like the movie, the premise was so cool. It was like, it's a gate to where the aliens come in, and that's what explains the pyramids, and they kind of look like the Egyptian gods and stuff. And then you watch and you're like, this is like atrocious. All they had, I don't know what it is. Sometimes it's that movie, the show on Peacock right now with Anthony Hopkins. He's in every trailer. He's
it's called Time to Die.
Time to Die. Like. Google it.
Here's my thought about that. What were you going to say though about the Hopkins one?
Well, it's like they still spent a ton of money.
They spent a lot of money. They got Anthony fucking Hopkins.
It's like, why not? If you're going to spend that much money, then that should be good. And it's atrocious.
You know what it's like?
Unwatchable.
But getting Anthony Hopkins for a show like that is like getting a $200 bottle of wine, or like like this incredible bottle of wine that's like stayed perfectly in this cellar, and being like, yeah, we're having microwavable chicken nuggets with it. Yeah. And you're like, but this should go with like a good fish or something. And they're like, nah.
Yeah.
Just waste it.
Well, they trick you. It was a catfish.
Yeah.
It was really a catfish. I was like, Anthony Hopkins wouldn't, I mean, he's only got so many days left on Earth, you know? You figure he's going to use his time wisely. And then he's there. I mean, it was clearly he had like a heart out at 11 a.m. Yeah. Like he didn't put much like effort into it.
I'll do it if I'm done by lunch.
Yeah. And he's only on screen for maybe like 90 seconds, but he's in every preview. And the show is so bad.
And it gets you hyped because it shows him in like a classic robe with like, you know, robes, the crown, and he's like, then let them die. And you're like, this could be good. And then you see 2 minutes of it and you go, this is a shit show.
Yeah.
It's almost filmed like a Cinemax movie where you're like,
that's
there better be bad tits, like bad fake tits.
That's the style, actually. Yeah. That's like the perfect description of the style.
It just is like a Cinemax softcore porn.
Yeah, all those guys got out of work now that there's OnlyFans and stuff. And so they just went over to like Peacock.
They're like, okay. I can do some legitimate acting. But I also think it's crazy to do that show, Time to Die, which takes place in the Roman Empire, with Anthony Hopkins, when they went and made Gladiator 2, which looks great. Mm-hmm. They got Denzel, they got like Pedro Pascal, Ridley Scott, I think, made it. They like made Gladiator 2. So it's funny when you put out a shitty TV show that's around the same time period as something else and they do it right.
But they always do that. Isn't that? Don't you think that's a strategy?
Probably.
The networks where they're like, okay, Gladiator's got people hyped, but it's not out until this, so we're gonna do some shit.
100%. And there's some guy that went to like UPenn that's like in a boardroom that's like, Anthony Hopkins' agent was asking about some stuff. Maybe we can make him Caesar and throw him in a show. And they're like, great job, Toby. He's like, thanks. I'm wanted for rape in Pennsylvania because I took advantage of a drunk girl at a frat party. But it's like those kind of the people
that's how it works. But it's the business.
That's the business, baby. But it is all commerce. It's just like everything's numbers now. Nothing's like, this guy made this thing and then it got big. It's cool still when you see things blow up organically. Like I'd probably say that with the musician Chappell Roan. I don't know if you know who she is.
I'm way out of the loop on everything.
I'm out of the loop, but the fiance loves her and has been listening to her. She's really good.
Yeah,
she got great songs, but she's like on fire right now, the old school way, where she like did an album in 2023. No one gave a shit. She was just touring with it, and then it like caught on.
Oh wow!
And now she's selling so much tickets. She sold the most tickets ever for an artist at Lollapalooza, and she wasn't even a headliner. Like that's how it's starting to go, where people are like, holy shit, this is like really caught on. I like that still exists because it doesn't feel like the Taylor Swift marketing thing machine of like, oh, someone's big, I released a new version of the same song so I can fucking go over.
Right.
We were talking about this earlier. It's just like the corporate grip on everything right now, even though we act like everything's independent, isn't. It's all like everything's got corporate fingerprints on this.
Yeah, a good example is the breakdancing at the Olympics.
Yes, that felt like your mom showing up in b-boy pants and being like, you know what's super hip, bros? You know what it felt like? It's the authenticity of Dare speakers back in the day, where they'd be like, hey, kids, I'm going to talk to you about drugs. And you're like, you're not the guy I want to talk to about drugs.
Yeah, that's back when you would discourage children from doing drugs. That Dare program now, it's just the officer like, hey, don't take it all at once.
Yeah.
Or he's like, pace yourself.
He's like, I got a cool new jingle for a hepidimidine or some pharmaceutical.
Oh, yeah.
Like Lady Gaga does a pharmaceutical ad where
yes,
it's like
what is
Lady
that
Gaga.
Drug? Yeah.
We were just watching.
Is it an antidepressant or something?
It's something that you probably need, but probably don't.
If you look at I know Simone Biles has it on hers, and she does one of those. I think it's a drug ad. In the fine print on the drug, it says this person does not use this.
Really?
On whatever the one Simone Biles, she does it with her mom and something, and it's like it says she doesn't use it.
They don't use it,
and it's like, of course they don't use it.
That's so. But it's what's crazy is I'm obsessed with this specifically right now. And I mean, I'm talking shit, but we're gonna break this podcast for an ad read.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm talking all the shit in the world.
Right.
I'm guilty of it. Everyone's guilty of it. But when a celebrity would be in a commercial in the 90s, I'm obsessed right now with the idea of what a sellout was. When we were growing up,
yes.
And this is old white guy shit. We're like, man, in my day. But when someone sold out, you were like, oh, you're a fucking sellout.
Yeah.
You're a phony.
Right.
You have no interest in actually doing this. You're just doing this for the money. That's why they had the fucking decency to go to Japan so that we never saw it, so that it didn't ruin it.
Right. That is true. That now it's just like, what else? how many things can I contractually be the spokesman of?
How many things can I shove down your throat if you're a fan of mine?
Right. I mean,
and the perfect gene is one of them. And don't forget to stop by the perfectgene.nyc. But it's kind of thematically what we're talking about, where it's like all available, but we're doing the worst version of it.
Yeah, we have the gear. That used to. We don't have the excuses we used to.
Yeah,
you used to be able to like. It's so hard to make a movie, and now it's like really easy. It's just like, can you get like some people together and like, and it's like, no, that's too hard. So yeah, we just ran out of excuses, and now we're all like, oh yeah, we like just suck. Yeah, like we can't do anything.
But it makes me wonder if like. Did the Romans know when it was ending? Were they like, hey, we kind of suck right now? Like, we kind of got it pretty good, and it's collapsing.
Maybe. I mean, I remember you hear about the Roman Empire collapsing when they were like, Caligula made a horse a senator. You remember that?
Yeah.
They were always saying that when he made a horse a senator, that's when they knew it was over. And we're in 2024. It's like, I would kill for a horse senator right now.
Are you kidding
What
me?
an upgrade that would be. A horse senator?
Not running on anything except... That's it?
I know. Well, they'd be an obstructionist because they'd always vote nay.
Yeah. That's good. I love it. You know what's funny, though, is as you're saying that...
I'm disappointed already.
No, I'm thinking in my head, I'm going, we're already there, dude. You know how many towns have dog mayors? Where you'll see on Instagram where you'll be like, that golden retriever isn't just wearing a tie because it's fun. He actually runs. I'd be so disappointed if they're like, hey, who's the mayor? And they're like, that lab? You'd be like, oh, fuck.
He gets assassinated.
Yeah.
They have to give him like a state funeral.
Dude, the president has to go and speak at it. He was a good boy. He was a very good boy. Yeah, I mean, that is the horse senator. You're right. Let's run a horse for president. I wouldn't even mind that.
Anything.
Ride him to the White House. I already got his campaign slogan. You just want to turn everything off. There's a moment where you hope the aliens hit us with like an electromagnetic pulse where everything shuts down and we have to go like, I kind of got crazy back there. I was showing my dick online.
Yeah.
Like all these people are like, I was showing my asshole to everybody.
Dude, it would be so crazy if we had to get by on our actual skills in the universe. Dead. Yeah, instantly.
I'd be dead.
Even if you didn't have money, like if you just went to a barter system.
Yeah. What would we give them?
Like for me to go to like the Toyota factory and convince them to give me a Toyota Camry. Like, what could I possibly do to them? I will tell you some jokes for an hour.
Yeah.
They would be like, what? Are you fucking crazy?
I'm building a car. Leave me alone. And I'd be like, whoa. Did you ever hear Macho Man doing Huey Lewis? And they're like, this fucking guy. But then there wouldn't be one guy who's like,
don't you know?
Yeah. I'd be like, they say the heart of rock and roll is the beat. Yeah. And they'd be like, you can drive my car. I won't give you one.
That's the power of love, brother.
Yeah. What make a strong man weak, make another man sing. Turn a hawk to a little white dove. More than a feeling. That's the power of love. And then he just hands me the keys. He goes, buddy, it's out front, and we just detailed it.
I would do it. Maybe a Corolla. I don't know about a Camry. I'd give you a Corolla for that. That's pretty good.
If we ever go back to the barter system, there's just going to be...
Nobody does anything. You go to an office, you sit at a computer, you don't do anything.
Yeah.
They send emails, you email about doing work eventually, and
about
then
getting to it?
Nothing happens. No one does anything.
I'm going to get to that.
Yeah.
In this room, Mike is the only one that does work.
Yeah,
he edits clips and puts it up.
You have a product at the end of the day.
But that's what I'm saying. All my emails are, I'm going to get to it. Yeah. I'm about to get to it. Oh, I'll get to that soon. I'll do that. Yeah, man, it is. You hope when our current civilization winds down, whoever survives, if they ever reboot the internet and they watch all this, they're going to be like, oh, shit.
I know they're going to make a bad show about it. It'll look like a porno.
2021. It's just like, he created OnlyFans. You're Mike OnlyFan. And he's like, yeah.
Hopkins is in it.
Yeah, Hopkins is like, I'm still alive. He's just a head. Yeah, it always blows my mind that it gets to that. Like, I go to like these sites that dump all these news articles because I like reading random stories. And I read this story today that was in the Wall Street Journal about a woman that was a escort for the 1%. And she said just everybody would like lie to each other to make it seem okay. Like all the hookers would be like, I went to boarding school and I used to ski in the Alps. And then all like the Johns were like, I'm not lonely, I'm just super busy. And you're like, well, everyone's lying to them. You just be like, I'm a hooker. And you're like, I'm a John. It's like old school hookers who just drive up and be like, will you blow me for $20? And they're like, move over, I'm getting in. But now it's like a backstory where you have to like almost write a show to get a hooker.
I know that should be an acting class at UCB. Is how to be a hooker.
I'm in
improv for hookers.
Yeah, I'm in improv for hookers 201. I passed my class. Guys, come to my class show. Just ladies in fishnets doing fucking pitches.
Yeah, there's the woman taking the tickets. Like, so what are you in town?
Do you like to party? You want to do a little half and half party? And you're like, oh, you're a naughty bitch. Aw, freak out. Yeah, lay chic, say freak. Hi, everybody. It's Dan Soder, and I'm on the road always and never stopping. This November, I got a badass show that I'm very excited about with few tickets left. Town Hall for New York Comedy Festival, November 8th at 9:45 p.m. Town Hall. Go get tickets right now. There's a few remaining. Let's fill it up. I'm very excited for that show. And then the next night, we're doing Toronto, Ontario, Canada. 2 shows at the Queen Elizabeth Theatre. First show, completely sold out. Second show, lots of tickets available. Go to the Late Show. If you don't have your tickets yet, go check out the Late Show. It is November 9th at the Queen Elizabeth Theatre. The 7:30 is sold out. The 9:30 is very on sale. Tampa, Florida. I hope you're okay after the hurricane. We're coming down there in November. November 14th through the 16th. I will be at Side Splitters Comedy Club in Tampa. I hope you're all right. And if everything's okay, come on out and we'll have a laugh. dansoder.com. That's where you find me. I'm trying new catchphrases. Does this work? That's where you'll find me. I think that sucks. Dude, I have a flat butt, wide hips, and long legs. Finding a jean for me is crazy because it's either like I either look like a mom from the 80s or I look like I'm trying to be in a skateboarder hang in the early 90s. It just sits weird until I got the perfect jean. And then I was like, this thing snugs me perfectly. Right on my flat butt, right on my wide hips. It's just it's comfortable and it feels almost like sweatpants, but you know it's jeans. You know that where you're like, I don't know, this is going to say too much, but I used to sleep in jeans a lot when I drank. I think I could sleep in these. I feel like these would be a good jean to sleep in. It's finally time to stop crushing your balls. Don't start crushing your balls unless you're into that, in which case it probably costs a lot of money to get someone to do that for you. But if you're into stopping crushing your balls, theperfectgene.nyc. Our listeners get 15% off your first order, plus free shipping, free returns, and free exchanges when you use the code SODER15 at checkout. That's 15% off for new customers at theperfectgene.nyc with promo code SODER15. After your purchase, they'll ask where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Please. Or Myrtle won't eat. I promise you that. F your khakis and get the perfect jean. They told me to say that last part. I don't talk like that. Hey, spark something uncommon this holiday season with incredible hand-picked gifts from Uncommon Goods. They make your holiday shopping stress-free by scouring the globe for original, handmade, and absolutely remarkable things for everyone on your list. These gifts spark joy, wonder, delight, and that's exactly what I wanted. Oh, cool! Whether you're shopping for your Secret Santa or your entire family, Uncommon Goods knows exactly what they want. When you stop at Uncommon Goods, you're supporting artists and small independent businesses. Many of their handcrafted products are made in small batches, so shop now before they sell out this holiday season. To get 15% off your next gift, go to uncommongoods.com/Soder. That's uncommongoods.com/Soder for 15% off. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Uncommon Goods. We're all out of the ordinary.
They don't also how do you interact with hookers anymore? Where do you find a hooker?
Online. It's all online.
Online?
I bet if you're doing the old school,
the old 42nd Street.
Oh, yeah.
You can't tell it. The way everyone dresses now, the way they dress.
Yeah. You also could, like, trying to find a hooker in person.
In linear form? Analog hooker?
Analog hooker. Analog hooker, you'd be like, excuse me, mister, you a hooker? And they'd be like, what the fuck? And then they're recording you. So now you're online. It's like, watch this guy think I'm a hooker. And you're like, I just wanted a hooker.
Right.
But then,
I don't know how they would do it.
Yeah.
You used to remember that movie Pretty Woman with Julia Roberts?
Yeah, which you can't tell me a hooker didn't produce because they made it look like hooking was the best. Where you're like,
it was so awesome.
You can choose if you're not going to kiss a guy. Yeah, hookers act like the John's not going to force a kiss on you.
But they had a whole scene, and there was a whole element of that movie early on where they were like, you cannot dress. She had like boots up to her knees, and they're like, you look like a hooker. You can't come into this. You can't come into the hotel looking like that. And they had to go get her a makeover. And these days, you just think she was the catering manager, for Christ's sakes. I mean, the way that everyone's dressed.
She's actually the general manager of the hotel. Yeah, that's crazy because in the 80s, specifically in the 80s, and then I think in early 90s, they really pushed this whole like pro-hooker agenda with with Risky Business when Tom Cruise was like, my parents are gone. I'm going to be a pimp for the weekend. And I'm going to have all my high school friends fuck hookers, which would have been that you would have gotten so many kids venereal diseases and shit. All these kids would have been at high school like, dude, I think that girl you gave me got crabs. And then there was Risky Business, Pretty Woman, Milk Money. Do you remember Milk Money?
No.
Melanie Griffith played a hooker.
Yeah.
And the main character pretends she's not a hooker, so he'll fall in love. So her dad will fall in love with her. It's a rom-com.
Pretend she's not. So her dad,
his dad, Ed Harris. Yeah, Ed Harris. Yeah, and Melanie.
Oh my God.
Yeah, dude, and she's the hooker. I'm gonna show you the trailer. We're gonna edit it in right now, so that people can home watch it.
Might not be able to.
Oh, because of
they're literally so young.
They're under 6th grade.
Yeah, you have to understand if we didn't edit this in and you got to go watch Milk Money trailer, we're talking about like 9-year-olds,
prepubescent, prepubescent boys
going to get a hooker
who should have no urge to know what a hooker is. And I know this sounds selfish, but hear me out. We're all whores. Bring back movie trailer guy.
Oh,
Pablo Francisco got a great bit out of it, but bring him back. They don't do this anymore.
And it made you amped up for the movie.
Yeah, because you made it being like, it was almost like this voice of God.
Yeah, it was like, this will be cool.
Coming up, these boys don't know what they're doing is a sex crime.
You could be the guy.
That's what I'm saying.
You should
hire me.
Yeah.
Hire me to be the fucking, but here, I'll show you the rest of the trailer. Because this is, as a concept, just a wild movie.
What it is, I'm actually blown away by this.
I want to do a watch along of this movie. I might have to do a watch along of this movie.
I mean, that's crazy.
So the whole point is that, and by the way, it works. They like fall in love, and then his dad fucking marries a hooker. How about Milk Money 2 called Meet the Family?
She's got a heart of gold, and that's the thing. But
do they?
I was expecting kind of like an Anthony Michael Hall, a Ferris Bueller type. These are legitimate. Hollywood in the 80s, by the way. A lot of this is like controversial. They're grooming. They're
like kids?
Hardcore grooming so much.
Well, look at those little girls. Those little girls watched that hooker and they went like this. That's bad.
Yeah.
That's very bad. And you're like, hey, if I were one of their dads, I'd be like, well, there's a fucking hooker walking around downtown? What do you do? I'd beat the shit out of Ed Harris. I'd be like, dude, you're bringing a hooker around my fucking kid? What's wrong with you? And I'm not like button up. I'm pretty fucking, I'm apolitical, but I'm pretty socially liberal.
Yeah.
Where I would be like, what the fuck are you doing with a hooker around here?
It's super weird. They have every movie from like Back to the Future even.
Well, when you think about it, fake rape.
It's like, no, but it's like, how many high schoolers do you know that are friends with like a 60-year-old man who lives by himself in town?
A genius scientist?
He shows up at high school. Hey, Marty, get in my cool car. We got to go somewhere. You can't tell anyone about it.
He goes, technically it's not pedophilia if you go back to the 50s. That's the whole reason Emmett Brown. Yeah. Emmett Brown was just like, I can get around these pedophilia laws.
Back in 1950, I was only 18.
He goes, what are you talking about? Technically, we're the same age. He goes, I don't know about this, Doc. He's like, no, just let me suck you. Let me suck you in the DeLorean.
So weird. All those movies, like the Karate Kid, is the same. Like they're all the mismatch of like a teenager and an old man in town.
You're ruining all my favorite movies, but you're not wrong.
They get drunk at one point, don't they? Doesn't Miyagi get drunk? He gives him a car. Well,
he's got a bunch of cars.
Wax on. You tell me that's not some kind of... They had a scene where they were getting... He was waxing his butthole.
Daniel-san, it's called Sucker Miyagi. He goes, oh, yeah. He goes, I don't know, Mr. Miyagi. This doesn't seem like it's teaching me karate. He goes, nah, suck the dick. Yeah, there's a scene, though, that he's upset about his dead wife, and he's very drunk. And then Daniel LaRusso has to put him in bed.
Now, you tell me. You be the judge. I'm just saying that's
LaRusso raping Miyagi. Daniel-san, I woke up in my bed. And he goes, you wanted me there. You wanted me there, Miyagi. And he goes, I didn't know. Miyagi-san, there's no consent. And he's like, it's consent if you drink sake with me. I'm from New Jersey. I'm going to show you how the LaRussos do it. Hold on, I want to see the...
Were they from New Jersey?
Oh, yeah. That was the whole funniest part.
Oh, that's right. They moved.
He's just a loudmouth Ginzo from New Jersey. Comes to California. Because the show Cobra Kai, which fucking does rule.
It is cool.
Because they switched the whole thing. But a guy did that on YouTube where he was like, Daniel LaRusso's actually the bad guy. He like shows up, takes Johnny Lawrence's girlfriend, and he like then beats him up in front of everybody at a tournament. And you're like,
it's perspective, man.
But I want to watch the end of this trailer because this is now with fresh eyes on that. Let's try to put it in this. We're gonna try. If it doesn't work, old copyright strike. And if you reported us, I hope you find a lump under your armpit. I truly do. You fucking snitch. You've got nothing better to do than go like, oh, they're having a good time watching a fucking movie trailer.
Why is it copyright? If this is relevant to current events.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Milk money, we're dealing with inflation. This is a piece of documentary record that we can use. It's fair use because we have the relevant current events to associate it with.
You've met my legal counsel, David Angelo.
That's right.
He's Italian, so it's in the blood. Believe the source.
We grew up in the court system, you know.
They came for us. La Costa Nostra. This thing of ours. Here, let's watch the end of... Because, by the way, if I would have, hypothetically, gotten a hooker for Gary, my father, and then just shown up with it, my dad would have gone like this. All right, that's a party. I'm going to need you to go play. What's her rate? Hey, pal, what's her rate?
Oh, my God.
I mean, grooming. They just did a whole scene where they're like...
She's taking her clothes off in class.
I got to watch this. Also, you want to go, and she fucks for money, so she's great at it. Like that's the selling point.
Do you think they phone it in? I've never been with a hooker, but I imagine
I've never purchased a hooker.
Yeah, I can see them just being quiet, quitting, and not putting the effort in.
I feel like when athletes are in a contract year and they like absolutely blow up, and you're like, and then the next season they're like a little more quiet. Mm-hmm. I think that's probably like they're quiet, docile, they don't care. Get down to business. It starts happening. When they want it to be over, I bet they turn it on and it's like incredible. And then they're like, all right, now I need my money. I got to get out of
here. Oh, yeah.
You know, like they can.
Yeah, because they're paid by the job, not the hour.
Exactly. So they're kind of like.
So they have to be good.
Or they are kind of paid by the hour because the guy's like, get them for an hour or something.
True too.
So I wonder if they just like.
They draw it out.
Well, it's also like boxers. Boxers will take them. $20 million budget for milk money.
In those days, by the way. In those days.
That's $20 million money.
What did Three Amigos cost? I bet it's less than that.
Then a hooker movie.
Yeah.
God, I want to watch Milk Money now.
Because they probably had to pay that movie was probably done to buy off so many people. That's how Hollywood used to work. They'd be like, "Oh, this guy's blackmailing me, so he's got to be the set designer on this movie.
I'll give him that.
And this guy's blackmailing me, so that's how they would do it.
That's how you get a $20 million Ed Harris.
Right. It takes place in a suburban house.
That's it.
That's one location.
4 locations. Maybe they come to the city for a day. They do a day of city shooting. What did Milk Money? So it lost.
Lost money.
Lost $2 million. Damn, it was in the red. No Milk Money too.
Yeah. That's
jugs of milk is what I would have called it. I mean, dude.
Chocolate milk would be a black hooker.
Oh, shit. Oh, Jack A. Jack A. comes in and she's like, dude, that would have Make Milk Money with a black hooker. Let's see that. Or Ed Harris is like, who the fuck is that? And she's like, I ain't gonna fuck you. He's like, she's a math teacher. Dude, watch Milk Money, but it's a black or just a fiery like Latina hooker, like a Puerto Rican hooker who's like, by the way, all your jewelry, that's not real China. And he's like, how do you know? You went through it? But what's the like loving message at the end? Because he keeps being like, it's the kid pumping up the hooker.
Yeah, it is very odd.
Oh, they got Randy Newman too. And she's a hooker. She's a hooker and she working. That's so funny. And she gonna take your dad for everything he's got. Love to see you smile.
Well, Randy Newman, that's $10 million of the budget right there. Worth every penny.
She grew up in a bad neighborhood. And she's like, I'm a hooker. He's a little white kid whose mom died. You're going to marry my dad. She's like, bitch, I ain't going to do no such thing. I ain't doing that shit, you crazy ass little... What the hell wrong with these little white boys now? I want you to meet my dad. Her dad was a MAGA Republican. And he's like,
who is this?
Who the fuck is this black woman in our living room? I told her I'm not voting for Kamala. He needs a new mom. She's a black hooker.
I think we just got greenlit. That's too good. That's too good.
$26 million for Milk Money 2, chocolate milk.
And we could
David Angelo and I are writing it.
We could make it with that money these days with the cameras now.
Are you kidding me? We could make it for fucking $4 million and then split $22 million between the three of us. I could be on so much fentanyl by Christmas.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. I'd be wearing Kleenex boxes as shoes like Howard.
The dream, the Hollywood dream.
To get so wealthy, you get mentally ill. Oh, that's where it is. That's truly that's the final goal, is to get so rich that you can be crazy and everyone around you just says yes.
Yeah.
That's like what's going on with Kanye right now. Did you see that? Kanye.
Is there a new chapter to that?
Yeah, it's pretty wild, dude. Hey, everybody, it's your resident hypochondriac. Have you been worrying? Yes, you have. I bet you have. Well, guess what? I like to worry too. But then you get ZocDoc, and ZocDoc helps you not worry, because ZocDoc is an app that helps you connect to a doctor, whether you need a blank specialist who takes your blank insurance, who's within blank miles of you. You can figure all that. It's a free app and website where you search and compare high-quality in-network doctors. You choose the right one for your needs and click to instantly book an appointment. And you click to instantly book an appointment or an apartment. Get nuts. We're talking about an in-network appointments with more than 100,000 healthcare providers. I'm really underselling these guys, dude. You can filter for doctors who take your insurance, who are located nearby, who are a good fit for any medical need. You can also see their actual appointment openings. You can choose a time that works for you and click instantly to book a visit. Use ZocDoc. It's great. So stop putting off those doctor's appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/Soder to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/Soder. ZocDoc.com/Soder. Let's get back to the podcast. So there's a dentist.
Okay. Oh, I did see this.
The people that worked for Ye are saying that this dentist got Kanye hooked on laughing gas, and it's driven him insane. And it's like,
yeah, well, it's really. I don't know nothing about that beyond I heard that what you
that's
just
all
said.
I heard.
But like that's when you start getting into whippets and stuff.
Oh yeah.
So then you start doing it all the time in an uncontrolled, like crazy way,
you're just
and
putting
it just like fries your brain.
You're like fucking up your brain.
Yeah.
And it's crazy that there's like I wonder if this dentist. I keep thinking, does this dentist have other clients? So like a guy's getting like work done. He goes, "Is that Kanye?" Here you go. Hi, and that chair in the next room getting laughing gas. Was that Kanye? What? And he goes, "Oh, what? Your incisor looks like it's a little infected." And you go, "Yeah. Quick question again. You know the guy in the space helmet and his wife is dressed in saran wrap? Is that? That's the dentist? That's the dentist?
Come on,
dude." Come on, that is not that. That's like a porn dentist.
That looks like Vin Diesel.
That's so he is. I only live my life one nitrous oxide is a time. That's not the dentist. That's really him.
You know, generally, and I'm not board certified, but when you go see a dentist, you want them to have sleeves. I think that's something you look for. The lavish
life of Kanye West's dentist, tattooed Thomas Connolly, dubbed himself the father of diamond dentistry, and boasts superstar client list as he's accused of getting rapper hooked on nitrous oxide. This is on the Daily Mail, in case you want to come for me.
The biggest
Take
red
away
flag.
my Perfect Gene money. You won't. You won't.
And he released an album on Whippets.
Kanye did? Kanye's new album, he's on Whippets. Yeah. So they're saying that he's been stuck with claims that he got the rapper hooked on nitrous oxide, who obviously the dentist denied it. But he did fit Kanye West with $850,000 titanium dentures. Who else is his client?
He doesn't need any other.
So funny when a guy like that tries to dress regular.
Yeah, they look like monsters.
He goes, "Hey, how you doing?" I definitely. It's what they do. This is what they do in porn. By the way, I think he's got hair tits, but they're bad hair tits.
The suits always look tearaway.
Yeah, you want to go? You're not wearing underwear under those slacks, are you? And he goes, "Absolutely not, absolutely not." And I have a Prince Albert. I mean, Kanye looks crazy with those.
Those are implants?
Those titanium dentures.
Oh, denture.
It looks like he just got done.
He's removed all his teeth?
Well, I think it's like...
Oh, you put it on.
Yeah,
it's
you
like
put it over it.
top.
But who else is his... I mean, dude, the way he makes his wife dress is objectively... Here's the thing. I think Kanye West is an incredible musician, obviously. He's made insanely awesome songs. His talent for music, that documentary on Netflix was heartbreaking. You wonder... if people like him ever snap out of it and come around, and then he's like married to that girl, and he's like, "Hey, sorry I made you dress like that." Like he just makes her wear like cat sweaters later, or he's like, "Put your tits away, miss." Connolly, who's a father of 5, obviously juggles his dental work with bodybuilding.
Connolly, I mean, the biggest problem here for me is a dentist who's Irish.
Dentistry?
You can't do that.
You can't do that.
That is a problem. That's no good.
He's like,
you should have known going into it.
"Oh, well, it looks as if your teeth, you need a little more of the laughing gas." What are you giving it to? And he goes, "This right here is leprechaun dreams. Suck in the leprechaun dreams." And you're going, But I think having a dentist that's super into nitrous oxide like that, at first, rules. At first, you're like, Dr. Lisa, I'm not going to give her last name because I'm going to the dentist tomorrow. If my dentist was like, "Do you want some nitrous oxide?" I'd be like, "I don't got spots. I got one spot. Let me rip." And then I'd be like, "Woo!" But like all the time, getting hooked on something like that seems like more of a pain in the ass.
Well, it's more that's how Elvis started. Was the doctor was giving him the drugs.
That's how that's what got Michael Jackson.
Okay. Yeah,
that's what it's getting Kanye. Michael Jackson. I got an endoscopy like 6 years ago or whatever, and they had to put me under to look at to shove a tube down my throat. And when I woke up, I was like, "This is the greatest I've ever felt in my life." Yeah. I asked the nurse. I was like, "Can I have this again?"
Yeah,
and she was like, "No."
Yeah.
And I was like, "I'm sorry, I'm an addict." But she was like, "Yeah, as I'm recovering, she goes, "That's the stuff that killed Michael Jackson." And you're like, "Oh,
I'll take another round though."
Yeah, get one for everybody. Let's all go to sleep together.
Right. Well, thank you. Do you have Conrad Murray's number? Do you have Conrad? That's the doctor.
I'm looking to get some diamond fangs shoved in my face, and I'm gonna make Katie wear nothing but shopping bags. It's so crazy just to make people wear. To tell your wife to go like, wear a poncho and high heels, and she goes, okay.
At one point, the Daily Mail is obsessed with her, the wife, Sensori or something.
Yeah, Bianca Sensori or something.
There's a story about her every outfit she puts on. They do an article, but one time
the
it was
Daily Mail is just dog shit.
I like it though. It's bad, but it's like kind of interesting because you see stuff you don't see otherwise. But at one point, the outfit was just her holding a pillow.
Oh, I saw that. And like
it's
a cat
that's
hat.
Good.
She was wearing like a cat hat and holding a pillow. Yeah. But it's so funny if you like work at Starbucks and she comes in and you're like, "Your Grande Express." Oh, and she goes, "Sorry, I gotta hold my pillow. Thank you." Also, if she's on like an airplane holding that, she's like, "I can't." Oh, you know what? Just folds it. Miss, you can't have your tits and pussy out here on Delta, even if you're trying to sleep on the plane.
You can't have your tits and pussy out. I hate that policy.
It's such a...
They've cracked down. Since 9/11, they've cracked down.
And it's so specifically... It's so Delta. Oh, it's so Delta. Yeah, that's so wild to me that doctors always be... If you're famous...
They want you to come back because they're billing. Well, they make a lot of money.
And also, look at that guy. His whole thing is he boasts an A+, A-list stars.
Yeah, it's so
I got to worry about Shane and Nate. I can't have them going to doctors. Shane's going to be like, "Nah, dude, this guy rules." He's just doing it. He goes, "We all do." Or like Nate's like, have you met my bodybuilding dentist?" I'm afraid of my super famous friends just getting hooked on nitrous and shit like that.
Yeah, no, that is a path you don't want to go down.
But it's also an indication that you truly are successful is when doctors are trying to get you fucked up all the time.
Or just trying to see you.
Yeah.
You know?
What are you doing later? And you go, "I don't know. You're a doctor. Why are you hanging out with me?"
My doctors are always like, "We can come back in February."
Yeah, that's exactly.
I don't know.
Yeah, my doctor smell.
Do you have a heart attack? Then fuck you. Get out of here.
Smell. I tried getting like one of those plaque tests to see how bad my heart is, and he goes, "No, he just told me no." Yeah. He goes, "No, you're too young." I was like, "No, I want to get that look," and he goes, "I don't give a shit. You're too." It's a calcium test. I was looking to see a calcium test, and he goes, "He just flat out told me no."
Right.
This guy, fucking Kanye's doctor, is like, "I'll give you 3. You want to do a calcium test? I'll give you 3 calcium tests. I'll have you. You want to get high off calcium?" Kanye's like, "Yes, I do." With his dentures in.
You know, you get high on calcium. It's very expensive. You need a lot of milk money.
Milk money too. Coming to theaters.
Calcium edition.
Damn, dude. If we can get $24 million.
Why don't, have you ever tried to sell a movie that you were like, "I know this is bullshit, but they'll definitely make this"?
No, I've never got anything made.
Why don't you? You can.
Because I've always tried. I've always put a lot of effort in and made stuff that I would want to watch. And they deny it. They shoot it down. Anytime I have a great idea and I go through the laborious process of writing it and developing it and having this whole world built, they usually buy the script and then they go, "Nah, we kind of needed something a little more
bad,
dumb." Yeah. It's crazy. I've had ideas where I've been like we sold a show, and I've talked about this fucking ad nauseum, but we sold a show with Stone Cold Steve Austin, a cartoon, to Peacock. And we got the approval of the WWE. We went through so much stuff. Then they just went like, "No."
Really? Even a cartoon? I thought they were clamoring for cartoons.
Dude, we had Stone Cold, we wrote the show with Stone Cold Steve Austin. And they were like, "Nah." And they're like, "Well, what are you guys going to make?" And they're like, "Ted, the cartoon." And you're like, all right. And so when people get upset that there's nothing, like we're doing at the beginning of this show, that there is nothing good, it's all because people who make a lot of this stuff don't want to make a risk because they want to keep their jobs.
But they get fired anyway. That's
well, they don't understand that. They don't understand. Like Netflix right now doesn't understand that it's doing a disservice to stand-up. It thinks that it's helping stand-up by, oh, well, these people get large numbers. We'll put these people on our platform, but you're not growing anything. It's kind of the way a little bit comedy clubs are doing that right now, where they're going like, I know friends of mine that open for me or that I just know, comedy clubs have reached out and gone like, sorry, man, we're only booking people with like huge social media followings. And you go, are they good at stand-up?
Right.
Or are they just incredibly popular right now?
Yeah, well, if they sell tickets, I get the perspective of the club. You just want to make money.
But they used to, I don't want to be too much of an old man right now, but they used to understand that and go, okay, if these people are selling a lot of tickets, we'll do them Wednesday and Sunday. And then these like legitimate comics can do Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And as we build with them, hopefully there'll be this continual, like I have a lot of great relationships with clubs that have over the years built up with me. And you kind of know like, hey, last time we sold out 4 out of 5, maybe next time we sell out 5 out of 5. But they don't realize by booking these like social media people, they're just going to come in and do the club and sell out, and then they're going to go like, well, I'm going to the theater. Fuck you. I have no interest in working the club again.
Right.
This is just, you're just a check to me.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of what these TV shows are and shit. It's just people like Chuck Lorre and shit that are going, I don't know, I got an idea about a kid. He's a fucking, gets a hooker for his dad. And they go, great. Instead of a movie where you're like, that's actually a pretty good look at like what prostitution is in modern era. And they're like, we don't want to.
Yeah, anything that makes you think is kind of tough. But the idea to me is like, if you're a television executive, you're working in entertainment, don't you want to be kind of like I get in the show business because I wanted to like work in like the circus.
Sure.
I wanted it to be crazy.
Sure.
And if you're an entertainment executive, don't you want to have like some crazy times? But they just like, they keep making like the most like tepid, boring, like it can't be fun on these sets.
Yeah.
You know, whereas in like the 70s and 80s, it was like, okay, our lead is a cocaine addict, but you know what, we're going to have a good time.
I mean, dude, look what they did with like Mork and Mindy, or you even like,
Yeah,
they always
exactly.
said like Robin Williams was out of his fucking tits, but the show worked. And like Animal House, they're like, dude, everyone was a real fucking problem. And you're like, and it created a great movie.
What's the golf one?
Caddyshack.
Caddyshack makes absolutely no sense.
There's no way that,
unwatchable. It is the worst movie ever, but it came out and it was like, all right, you know, but we get it.
Dude, they hired Rodney Dangerfield, who had never acted before.
Yeah, because
he had never acted.
That's the glory of when Hollywood was fun, because everyone was doing drugs, even the executives.
Yeah.
So, and they were all being blackmailed. Again, we go back to this. So they're like, all right, we got to do this. We'll get Dangerfield in.
Dude, it's one of my favorite Hollywood stories of all time is Dangerfield, the first day of filming. He was on the golf course doing his lines. They did a couple takes. And then he gets done and he goes over to like a PA or like the assistant director. And he's like, I'm bombing. And they're like, what? He's like, I'm doing terrible out there. And they're like, Rodney, we can't laugh at you. We're being filmed. It's like picking up the audio. And he's like, oh, he like had no idea. Like that simple thing of like, oh, I just thought I was doing real bad. And you're like, no, you're doing awesome. But like,
hadn't he ever seen a movie? I get not being in one, but like, surely he'd seen a movie and there wasn't a laugh track.
I don't know. Maybe he thought like, yeah, everyone's
he
laughing. He
must have been high as shit.
I mean, exactly. He might have been yacked out of his mind.
He probably didn't know it was a movie.
He's like, oh, I just thought we were playing golf. Honestly, my teeth can't stop chattering. Yeah, but yeah, I mean,
good Dangerfield.
Yeah.
Is that thing you're known for?
Yeah, I do Danger. He's one of the voices I do.
Okay.
He's one of my secret little voices in my head.
Yeah.
One of the ones telling me to shoot all the bad people. No, that's how you realize a mass shooter that does voices.
Who's Rodney Dangerfield?
Yeah, he goes, hey, you're all gonna pay. Rodney Dangerfield mass shooter. He goes, hey, she broke up with me. I wrote a manifesto. I get no respect. I'm telling you, my wife left me. Now I'm gonna clear out the mall. Yeah. I got fired from the post office. Now everyone's got to die.
There we go. There's the character. There it is.
That's fucking
mass shooter Dangerfield.
Rodney Dangerfield as a mass shooter is so fucking funny. Hey, you might know my gang. Well, known as the Trent Coast Mafia. Yeah, something about our mafia. It's this little thing of ours. We shoot jocks. Hey, everybody's gonna die. We do that instead of everybody's getting laid. Hey, everybody's gonna pay.
There you go. Wow, look at that.
Yeah.
You know, they said you couldn't make mass shooter jokes funny, and that we've done it.
Yeah, I mean, that's really what if you can't with that, what can you?
That's it. Dangerfield. It was so funny that.
Dude, I appreciate you coming on the podcast. David Angelo's special out on YouTube right now.
Right now, you can go over if you're in the search bar. It's called New York Legend.
Yeah, shot like an old grimy. That intro's
good,
fucking
right?
sick.
Honestly,
the best intro I've ever seen on a special.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
It is very fucking cool. It's a great special, very funny. David Angelo, New York Legend. Make sure you check it out. Follow him.